I say Document Tingz, bringing truth to the light. Paper trail strong, yeah, we reading it right. From the docket to the drop, every case, every scene. I'm your courtroom reporter with the facts in between, yeah. Document Tingz, bringing truth to the light. Paper trail strong, yeah, we reading it right. From the docket to the drop, every case, every scene. I'm your courtroom reporter with the facts in between, yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. We are here to get into some court updates. Now, we're here to go over Megan Pete versus Milagro Elizabeth Cooper's court update. Now, before we actually get into that, there was an update prior to this one, and it is regarding Tory Lanez. So, breaking news, Tory Lanez has declined to give a depot in this particular case. It only lasted 45 minutes. Any developing updates, I will make sure to let you guys know. Okay. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Now, you know, I got to have my copyright disclaimer at the bottom. You see, this is basically saying, hey, this is fair use. I am not a paralegal. I am not an attorney, and I'm also not a judge. I am simply saying that, hey, I know how to read. And without further ado, let's get into this order denying substitute service. All right. This cause is before the court upon the notice of hearing, refer back to docket 128, upon which the court held a discovery status conference hearing on September the 5th, 2025 via Zoom. Now, we're going to take a quick pause. Now, I will link that video at the end of this video because I did read over the transcripts from this particular discovery status conference hearing. So you'll be able to hear that. It'll be at the end of the video. All right, now let's continue. At the hearing, defendant's counsel made an or tennis motion to extend third-party discovery, in effect substitute service of deposition subpoenas to non-parties Kelsey Harris and Desiree Perez. The non-parties. Plaintiff objected to that request for failure to demonstrate good cause for deposing these non-parties and diligence in timely serving these subpoenas. Our local rules are instructive here. Rule 26.1D states, completion of discovery. Party and non-party depositions must be scheduled to occur in written discovery requests and subpoenas seeking the production of documents must be served in sufficient time that the response is due on or before the discovery cutoff date. Failure by the party seeking discovery to comply with this paragraph obviates the need to respond or object to the discovery, appear at the deposition, or move for a protective order. All right. Now, let's continue on. As y'all can see there, reasonable notice of taking depositions, unless otherwise stipulated by all interest parties, pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 29, and accepting the circumstances governed by Federal Rule or Civil Procedure 30A, a party desiring to take the deposition with the state of Florida of any person upon oral examination shall give at least 7-day notice in writing to every other party to the action and to the deponent if the deposition is not of a party. And a party desiring to take the deposition in other state of any person upon oral examination shall give at least 14 days notice in writing to every other party to the action and the deponent, as y'all can see right there, if the deposition is a non-party. Now that's some tea. Y'all got some tea. That's some tea right there. We got some tea. All right, so let's go ahead and continue. So SD Florida, y'all can say that's Florida, LR 26.1H, emphasis added, read together. Local rules 26.1D and H dictate that all discovery, including third-party discovery, must be diligently so it may be completed by or before the discovery cutoff, or at least properly served within the deadline as to give the affected party or non-party sufficient notice. Here, the party stipulated to an extension of third-party discovery for 20 days, placing the deadline on August the 28th of 2025. The parties agreed that no timing-based objections would be made within this 20-day period. At the court September the 5th, 2025 hearing, defendant first moved to effect substitute service on the non-parties and further extend the deadline for third-party discovery. See status conference HRGTR, go back to docket 138 at 3414 and then 50-6. Plaintiff lodged their timing-based objection during the hearing and in post-hearing submissions to the court. Evidence proffered during the hearing and submitted to the court shows that defendant has not diligently sought discovery from these third parties within the already extended third-party discovery deadlines in a way that comports with local rule 21.1D and H. Namely, the evidence shows the earliest attempts to serve Ms. Perez being on August the 19th of 2025 in Florida, 9 days before the deadline, and August the 21st of 2025, which is 7 days before the deadline in New York. The earliest attempt to serve Ms. Harris was on August the 20th of 2025, 8 days before the deadline in Texas. These attempts of service are not timely under the local rules. All right, so let's read this right here at the bottom. This is a little insert, by the way. Let's read this. While the first attempt to serve Ms. Perez in Florida would have been timely under the local rules for a deposition within the state of Florida, comments attached to the attempted service affidavit indicate that Ms. Perez does not actually reside in Florida. And so her deposition would, and I guess we're going to skip this little part just to complete reading this, not be taken here. See Fed RCIV P.45C. Further, as discussed below, defendant has known of the relevance of these witnesses for some time now and does not indicate why she is seeking such discovery this late into the litigation. See, and then that's an actual different case that they're quoting here. Affirming denial of subpoena requests as untimely where plaintiff failed to conduct discovery during period permitted under scheduling order to obtain evidence that he knew was relevant since the filing of his complaint. So we just finished reading that little insert from here to here. All right, let's go ahead and continue. Defendant contends that she has shown good cause to seek the post-discovery cutoff depositions of these non-parties and exercise diligence in obtaining potentially relevant evidence from them during discovery. Defendant, however, fails to point to any information about the potential relevance of the testimony of these witnesses that was not apparent from the outset of discovery. Indeed, during the hearing and in post-hearing submissions to the court, defendant claimed that testimony from Ms. Perez and Ms. Harris is relevant to the underlying 2022 criminal case involving plaintiff and Daystar Peterson, and as purported eyewitnesses to the July 2020 shooting of plaintiff and its aftermath. See status conference, and then it's going back to that particular docket at the time frame, okay? This indicates that defendant has known of these witnesses since 2020 and at the very least has known of their purported importance to this case since its inception in October of 2024. This begs the question of why defendant was seeking discovery from them just days before the already extended discovery deadline. Further, defendant did not seek to substitute service until after the extended third-party discovery period had already ended when she raised the issue at the September the 5th, 2025 hearing. Moreover, The court had set the hearing upon its own volition. And then, as y'all can see here, go back to docket 128, which is a paperless notice. In other words, defendant has known of the issues with serving the non-party since at least August of 1920. Well, August of 19 to August of 20th of 2025, yet failed to raise them until over 2 weeks later, when the defendant itself set a hearing for September the 5th of 2025. Thus, defendant does not demonstrate diligent effort to seek discovery during the given deadlines, nor good cause for the court to extend the deadline to effectuate substitute service. And then y'all see they're quoting a different court case there. So we're just going to skip over that part, and then we're going to come right here. Defendant's request is even more. Now, this is we got some tea, right? I got some tea. There's some tea right here, y'all. We got some juicy tea.
Ooh, that was juicy.
Defendant's request is even more troubling in light of trial fast approaching in November and the undersigned previous warning to the parties on the importance of adhering to case deadlines. And then you can refer back to docket 97. The 11th Circuit has determined that a court does not abuse its discretion by denying a motion for extension of the discovery period, where the parties had ample time and opportunity to conduct discovery, yet failed to diligently do so. And that's a quote from another court case. Therefore, it is ordered and adjudged that defendant Milagro Cooper's request for substitute service of post-discovery deadline third-party deposition subpoenas is denied. Done and ordered, and this was signed by Lisette M. Reed. And that is the bottom of this particular court document. Now, I will link this in the description box below. Also, Twitter seen it first. Well, X, formerly known as Twitter, seen it first. But if you like what you see here, hey, what are your thoughts? Leave your comments below. I am shooting for 500 followers. I am almost there. I'm almost at 400. Hit the like button. It's free. Hit the follow button. It's also free. If you like what you see today, hey, leave it in the comments below. But before we get out of here, I just gotta sit back and weep, y'all. Can we weep real quick? Let's sing just 1 second.
Yeah. Ooh, you thought you was slick, huh? Now you sitting in the papers. She was running her mouth. Thought she big, thought she bold. Tryna step to the stallion, but the truth gon' unfold. Screenshots, headlines, baby girl on blast. Not a lawyer on the line, girl, it's moving too fast. Talk cheap, but the price tag heavy. Tryna play the game, but you wasn't even ready. Now you caught in the storm that you made with your tongue. Could've stayed in your lane, now the damage is done. Dumb bitch, got yourself sued. Fucked around with Megan, now the judge in the room. Oh yeah, fake flex, now you paying dues. Tryna play a boss, but the boss played you. Dumb bitch, what you gon' do? Lawyer fees stacking, they gon' bury you too. Should've stayed quiet, kept your lies in check. But you messed with the wrong one, now you drowning in debt. She was posting online, thought the cloud was a win, but the screenshots last forever, baby girl, sink or swim. Megan kept it real, but you play with her name. Now you crying in the court while you drowning in shame. See, I ain't even hating, I'm just speaking the truth. Why you play with a queen when she got all the proof? Could've minded your business, but you wanted the smoke. Now the smoke turned to fire and your pockets is broke. Dumb bitch, got yourself sued. Fucked around with Megan, now the judge in the room. Fake flex, now you paying dues. Tryna play a boss, but the boss played you. Dumb bitch, what you gon' do? Lawyer fees stacking, they gon' bury you too. Should've stay quiet, kept your lies in check, but you messed with the wrong one, now you're drowning in debt.
And with that, I leave y'all. Have a good one.